Hello everyone, what is happening? Welcome back to Woodland Acres, and this is where we left the park off in the last episode. We've completed this bridge, entering this kind of what I'm calling Pine Lake area of the park here. We've built this lighthouse, it's flat right over here, and started to flesh out some of the rock work and the theming in this area. So in this episode, we're going to have a time lapse. But first, we're going to dive into a very big update. Big in terms of quite a lot of work. I have to say, it shocks me every time how quickly people are able to put out content, and yet I feel like I build and build and build, and 2 weeks go by and I barely get a video out. But so sorry for the sporadic schedule. But that's just gonna be how it is. Planet Coaster is a slow burn, as we know, and it takes time to build and get things to the standard that you want. So anyway, I did get a lot done in this episode. This building over here is complete. This building in the middle is complete. And then we have a couple smaller buildings that we're gonna see by the end of the episode, as well as this plaza is fleshed out. I did not work on the car ride at all. I did not work on the coaster station, so you'll have to stay tuned for another episode for that. But I think you guys are really gonna like where we're heading with this area. So without further ado, let's jump right into the first big update of Woodland Acres. So funny story, I'm about to record and then I'm sitting here just about to start, and suddenly I just hear this sound that's just completely taking over my headset, and it's because this ride is going nuts. 3 times the volume, 3 times the ride. So that is now closed and will not be a bother. So the first thing we're doing here, before we actually go into the area itself, is I want to switch to night because we do have a couple updates to this area. Ooh, lights, look at that. The coaster here, the wooden coaster, is lit up, not completely, just this part of the track. I'm not a psychopath. I was not going to light up the entire layout. I just wanted to light up the spots that you can see from here. So actually the lights end right here behind the chair swing, and then they pick up right behind these trees, and they end right at this intersection. So it gives the appearance that the whole track is lit up, but only the parts that are really visible from this side of the lake. So, and the lighthouse here is also lit up. It's a very Planet Coaster. These are those fairy lights, and is this realistic? Would a lighthouse have these, turquoise lights around it? Well, of course not. But to me, this feels just very Planet Coaster and very amusement parky. So that's what I want. I went ahead and did it anyway. And just the moving light here just really sells the lighthouse. So this is kind of one of those consolations I'm making with the game, where it's like, maybe it's not the most realistic, but it's something I like. So that's what we're doing. So now let's jump to Tejicam and see what we got to look at in this update. The first thing I want to point out is I did raise the car ride in this section. It looks like total crap right now, but this, I promise, will look a lot better. I wanted to give the car ride a little more elevation, and I feel like it needed it, and it didn't have it. So this will allow us to do some really fun things, with the bridge as it crosses. It might be a little high. I might actually go back and lower it just a touch more. This is probably like 20 feet above the water, and it needs to be maybe 5 to 10 tops. So we'll probably fix that. But anyway, as we enter the area here, first thing we get a look at is the fish and chip store here, right on the center of the plaza. It might take me a year to get across this bridge at this speed, so I'm gonna have to speed up. Here we go. So this is what we got going on. 2 buildings here to point out. We'll start with the less exciting one, the bathroom. So this is just very basic. I wanted to try to pull some elements of New England architecture, which for me goes about as far as these dormers, and that's it. But this is just windows as walls technique. I think they look really nice. They just add a little bit of that New England charm to the build, which is kind of what I was going for. Just simple walls, windows, and of course there's no interior. We just have our 2 bathrooms here with the drinking fountains. And sometimes I feel like keeping it simple actually helps. So in this case, I just plopped some windows in. I didn't do any additional trim or any borders, and I like to get a little bit trim heavy sometimes and want to just add everything. And sometimes just the simple in-game window vanilla look is really all you need. So I think that turned out pretty good there. So then we turn our attention to this building. So this is going to be like our quick service kind of main food area of this food place in this area of the park. It's not going to be the fancy restaurant that we have up at Nautica Point, but this is going to be like your main, like you walk inside, there'll be multiple counters, it's seating inside. And yeah, so if we kind of just look at the building a little up close here, we have, I think this is an in-game wood piece, and it has such a good texture on the walls, giving that like weathered look. Just a couple flower pots and just some really minor clutter over here. I didn't want to overdo it. Just little details like that were kind of the last thing I put in. A little basket full of flowers here with this is actually the scarecrow head just turned sideways so you don't see the face. We have a nice bay window here. The sign, this is a TMTK font. Shout out to TMTK. I've seen this one a few times. It works perfectly. I like to make my own fonts out of in-game pieces, but sometimes it's just easier to grab something off the TMTK. In my opinion, Planet Coaster should have so many more font options. I hope that's something we get in Planet Coaster 2. This is the logo I put together, very basic, just some art shapes to just represent the fish and the fries. I think it's cute. I think it works. We have some benches out front. And as we go this way, here's kind of the main entrance. Let's see if we can get a better lighting view here. Another little logo just to represent the fish, keeping it really simple, just using hydro beams to accomplish that, the small beam mark there. Main doors here, and then on this side, sign again. We got the seating out front. And that's pretty much it with that building. So this will be in a future episode, but we are going to finish this area here and put something right on this little plot, as well as put a cover over this corkscrew as it crosses the path. But this is kind of what we've got here. We've added some fence work, some lights. This is what I settled on for the lamps in this part of the park. Started to kind of plan out the car ride like Plaza and set that up against the Plaza to just kind of see how that's going to fit in. And then if we come back around this way and start heading back up here, we looked at the Dippin' Dots in the last episode, so this will also be in this episode. This is going to be our time lapse, is what I do here. And then the last thing I need to show you in this update is this flat ride here. I did settle on a name. It's the Super Looper, completely basic, nothing fancy, and that's exactly what I wanted. This is actually, I think this is a fairground ride that I used to ride as a kid. It was called the Super Looper. So a little bit of a childhood memory there. Different ride though. It didn't look like this, but it did loop, and it was super. So I took that big arch off the exit, put a smaller one here in the entrance. This just seemed a little more appropriate. The big arch was kind of neat, but it was blocking the view of the ride, and it was drawing you into the exit, which doesn't make any sense. So now you're clearly drawn into the entrance, and just some little bit of clutter here. Nothing really fancy. Yeah, and that's it for really this area. I did tie up the ride a little bit, short off some of the walls. Really not much going on up here other than just some off-camera cleaning up the area. So the next part of this episode is we're going to jump into a time lapse. You're going to get to see what comes out of this area. It looks like a tiny plot, but we make a pretty good use of it. And I'll just let you watch time lapse, and I won't tell you anything about it until we get to the final update, which will be, we'll take a look at that in its finished form, and then this will be completed over here as well. And I'm really excited to show you what comes out of this right here. This is I don't know. I haven't had this much fun building in a while, so can't wait to show you. Let's jump into the time lapse. I'll let you guys just hang out, get the music going in the background, and I'll see you in the final update after the time lapse. And here we are, the final product of the Gulpy Refresh Zone. So the only thing that you guys wouldn't have seen yet, I believe, is the actual soda machines here that I've added. This was kind of fun, just putting these together, just simple hydro beams again, just small pieces, kind of working out all those details. So this is what we have. This was inspired by this. I think they have this at a few different parks. I know Holiday World in Indiana, USA has these. They actually have free drinks at that park where you just walk up, get your drink, and go to the soda, or your cup, and go to the soda machines. Six Flags has this stuff where you can get your souvenir bottle and then go fill it up throughout the day. So I wanted this to be a just bam in your face, like gulpy, gulpy, gulpy. You know, like you come up the path and you're all like in, you know, this thematic world, and then it's just like gulpy, 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 like refresh zone right here. So this is a intentional kind of over the top branding. It's just fun. It's a Planet Coaster theme here. It's very Planco. It's also very realistic because parks like to do that. And I think I'm gonna add one of these or a couple more of these throughout the park. This will just kind of be the running, like all the refresh zones will be, you know, the Gulpy theme, and they might look different, but they'll have the same kind of out there crazy branding everywhere. So big shout out to the Hydro for the vending machines. So much TMTK. I'm starting to get used to using the TMTK more, and it's just amazing what people have been able to create, and it just looks so good. So big shout out to anyone who's got TMTK pieces that are in this park, and I'm sorry if I've missed calling out the right people at the right times. And I know I think everyone who's built things with TMTK needs to definitely get that shout out. So apologies if I've missed anyone or didn't give proper shout out when I needed to, but anyway, we'll move on here. So the last thing I want to show you is my favorite part of this episode, and I'm just going to stay out of Tejicam just because it's a little easier here. So this is our covered walkway, or covering over the walkway, I should say, to protect you from the coaster overhead. And then over here we have our cute little S'mores and More snack shack here, themed after an Airstream trailer. So this would not have been possible without some great TMTK items. This is a metallic piece by Hydro. It comes in a variety of different shapes, as well as always the Hydro beams. There might be a couple other small pieces I've used in here as well, but this was super fun to make. A lot of details in here. If we kind of look in the inside, I have the sign here. I just used the tan, dark brown, and white to kind of represent s'mores. Inside we've got some drawers. They got a microwave. They got like a hot cocoa or coffee dispenser, some cups. Here's the door out the back, and then they've got some s'mores getting ready to be made here. So, you know, I got the chocolate side and the marshmallow side. Maybe they're roasting them in this kettle, although I think your s'mores are going to be pretty burned if they go in there. Some storage boxes, a fridge, you know, and he's fiddling with one right now. He's panicking because he's got to get these s'mores ready before all the crowds of people come rushing in, because there's so many people over here. Yeah, so I had it propped up on this kind of pad here, which needed a walkway to get up to that height. So I added this little deck here, which I think just gives it a little elevation, a little just variety, and I think it breaks it up a little bit. I also made this just super simple logo on the side, and grabbed a generic s'mores menu off the Google, and that's how we got here. So even have a little bit of back of house stuff here, just some trash bins and electrical power thing there. So, and then I made this covering out of this I think this is the crypt fence. The crypt fence, and I've just got it duplicated to make kind of that lattice look. So that's really the end of the episode here. That's all we've got. In the next one, we're gonna be, let's kind of take us zoomed out a little bit here. So we're either gonna be working on the car ride for real this time, or we're gonna work on the coaster area over here. Look at how much fun these people are having, just backed up in a traffic jam, because you can't get enough traffic in your life, right? Look at that, that's so much fun. So we'll get that fixed. I'm not really sure what's going on. The interval timing must be way off. Oh yeah, they're giving, yeah, I don't know. Okay, we're gonna get that fixed. So yeah, one of those two things, we'll keep working on the area, but this is generally what we've got. This is this part of Woodland Acres. I think it's really coming along great. This gives me a lot of inspiration and sort of sets the palette for the rest of the area. So hopefully be smooth sailing through the rest of this area as we kind of finalize everything. So thanks for sticking around. Hopefully this wasn't too long of an episode, but I'm going to try to keep these short as I can as we move forward here. So thank you so much. Like and subscribe if you think it deserves it. Definitely subscribe so you know when the next one comes, because you don't know how many weeks it's going to be or how many days. But anyway, see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.